Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal, just in case you're new here, and today I have a book haul for you guys. I purchased plenty of books since my last book haul. I've also been sent books from publishers since my last book haul. So today I want to show them to you. So I've been trying to be really good about buying books that I don't need. So I really have only purchased books that I felt I wanted to add to my collection of books, whether it be classics or, you know, some more horror stories. I recently did a huge unhaul and I got rid of so many books. So I feel kind of empty right now and I want to fill those slots. So let's just get into the haul and yeah. In no particular order, I'm just going to show you these books. I have over 30, I believe, or close to 30. The first book that I have to show you is The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. I heard really good things about this. I don't think it's like the best book ever, but it's a fun, small little read for the spooky season. I recommend you pick this up if you were looking for something small to add to your TBRs this month, even though, oh my goodness, like this month is almost over already and I feel like I hardly did much reading, but we'll get into that later on. Next I have here two books that I picked up from Barnes & Noble in their classics section, and I got Inferno by Dante Alighieri. This is like this is the story of Dante's Inferno, and the Lovecraft Compendium. Yeah, I picked these up in Barnes and I think they're really cool little copies to have. They're so cheap. Obviously you could tell because I still have the price on them, but they're really cheap, so I'm thinking about picking up a couple more because even like their spines are really cool. So if you have, you know, a nice stack of them, I think they'll look really nice on a bookshelf, and they are a bargain buy. Next I have here Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. I picked this up on my trip to Salem in August. I did haul a lot of books when I was up there because there's an Amazon Books up there, and I try to just get as much as I can when I'm up there. And they had an extra 10% off sale also, so whatever books you bought, you got the Amazon online price plus another 10% off in store. So it was a really great deal. But this is a book based on stories of H.P. Lovecraft. I believe it's going to be a TV show, soon to be an HBO series. It's based on H.P. Lovecraft stories, and I believe the main character goes on some type of road trip and like things from H.P. Lovecraft stories come to life. I don't really know, but it sounds like a really interesting read. I've heard mixed things, but it's one of those books that you just got to pick up yourself and make the judgment for yourself, because it's right there in like that 3-star category where some people hated it and some people loved it. So we'll see what happens when I get to this, if I get to this. I bought many of these books in anticipation of October, and I've only read like 3 things so far this month, so that's not a good thing. I have a lot of books here to read still, and it's October 14th, so yeah. Next I picked up 3 Dark Crowns and 1 Dark Throne by Kendare Blake. I am looking forward to starting this series this winter. I feel like it will be a great winter read, a fantasy read. I keep hearing nothing but amazing things about this series, and now that the final book is out, I can binge it, and I am very much looking forward to it. The next book I have here is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, and this I got as a bargain buy as well for like $5 at Barnes & Noble when they had their book haul sale, and then I had extra money off on top of it. It was a great sale, by the way, so next time Barnes & Noble has a book haul event, definitely go check it out because I got some really good deals on books. I heard really good things about this book. It is a space opera, it is a young adult fantasy, but it's pretty big, but I've heard nothing but great things about Brandon Sanderson's Skyward, so I'm looking forward to getting to this, and I don't know if it's going to be a series or not. Please let me know if you know that, but yeah, I'm gonna get to this winter because fantasy is just for the winter. I just feel like everyone gets that fantasy vibe in the winter. It's a cozy, thick book. You have the time to read it. You're indoors under a blanket and just getting lost in a beautiful fantasy world. The next book I have is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Maharin. I'll never get that right, but she is a new favorite author of mine, and I am just so excited for the second book in this duology. I forgot what it was called. It's like something honey, something in honey, blood and honey maybe? Yeah, this book was phenomenal. It's just what I needed at the moment. I did not think I was going to love it as much as I did because I don't really enjoy Sarah J Maas's books where she incorporates a lot of romance and a magic system, and like Throne of Glass, for example, or A Court of Mist and Fury. I loved the series A Court of Mist and Fury, but it was just, I don't want to say trash, but it was. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, but it just was. But this literally rose the bar for me for that type of book. I really enjoyed the romance in here. I really enjoyed the fantasy aspects in here. I really enjoyed the magic system in here and the characters I fell in love with. So I highly recommend pick up Serpent and Dove if you have not already. Believe the hype on this one because normally I don't agree with the hype. Normally my opinion goes the opposite way of most people for popular books nowadays, but this book really does hold its own, and I can see this author just becoming something huge in the industry because her writing was great and the magic system was just so well thought out, and I enjoyed it. The next book that I received from the publisher, that is The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. I heard great things about this. It is about a library from hell, and the characters that were locked up in this library from hell escape. So definitely check this out. Anything about libraries, especially a library from hell, I probably will pick it up. So most likely I will be reading this book at some point in October, even though we're halfway through. Hopefully I get to this soon because I just want to know what it's about, and this way I can tell you guys about it. But if you have not already, add this to your TBRs. It is out already if you are interested. The next from the publisher I got Come Tumbling Down by Shawnee McGuire. I believe this might be the final book in this novella series of Shawnee McGuire's, the Wayward Children series. I am obsessed with this series, and I'm just so happy that my friend Mordecai sent me a arc of this. I cannot wait to get back to it, and I believe it's about Jack and Jill. Once again, we're revisiting them, so I can't wait to see how that turns out, and it is definitely thicker than the other ones, so there's a lot more story in here. Maybe she'll tie up loose ends, and hopefully there is a good ending to this. If I'm wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this really is the end of the Wayward Children series. Next, I have here Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I never really visited this series, and I want to. I keep hearing great things about it, and it's time for me to pick it up. I believe the last book in the series came out, so it's time for me to binge. And I love anything about serial killers, so here we go, Jack the Ripper. Hopefully I get to this soon in October. I don't know if I will, but I will leave it for November, definitely. The next I picked up at Target, The Bakeshop of Pumpkin and Spice by Donna Kaufman, Kate Agnell, and Allison Charles. This is a short story collection of all things fall, all things magical, all things romantic, and it was really hella cute. I enjoyed it. It's 3 short stories. It's about women who fall in love. There's magic, there's a bake shop, there's a small sleepy town in Maine, and it's great. It's amazing, and I think you should check it out if you want something that has all the fall feels. This is definitely something you could pick up in November as well, as we still have the fall feels about us, just not the spooky October feels, but definitely it's still fall in November. So if you're looking for something light and airy and romantic to read, highly recommend this book. Next I have here 12 Nights at Rotterhouse by J.W. Oker, and this book sounds really freaking scary, and J.W. Oker is a favorite person of mine on Twitter, and he wrote a book about his experiences in Salem, and he interviewed the people that run Salem basically during Halloween, so it was a really great book. This book is fiction. This book is about a haunted house, and an author goes and stays in it for 12 nights and things happen. Kind of reminiscent of Kill Creek in my eyes, but I think this is a little bit more brutal, a little bit more ghostly, So definitely checking this out this month. Yeah. Next I have here Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. This book is just so cute and the illustrations are so cute and I just absolutely love it, and Rainbow Rowell is just so cute and I don't really care what everyone's saying about her. I think she is an amazing, awesome person, and sometimes shit happens. So highly support this author, and yeah, Pumpkinhead's adorable, great for the fall. Check it out. It's a graphic novel, so if you need something to add to a TBR for a readathon this month, this should help you through. Next I have here The Last Seance by Agatha Christie. This is a short story collection from Agatha Christie that was never released. These are stories that were never released before until just now. This just came out the beginning of October, I believe, or the end of September. So if you're looking for a spooky Agatha Christie mystery with a seance in it, definitely check this out. It's on the paperback table in Barnes & Noble for 20% off. So yeah, I picked this up because I like to read short stories this time of year. I feel like I get to read more stories and get me in the mood for some spooky Halloween vibes. Next I have here Rules for Banishing by Kate Alice Marshall. I heard amazing things about this book from my friend Julie at Pages and Pens. She mentioned this book, how scary it was, and it scared the crap out of her, and there was a ghost and you could see the body of the ghost on the cover, and I just was like, alright, sounds good. And it is also told in mixed media, so there's video and text and all kinds of stuff inside this book, so I cannot wait to get to this. This is probably a book I'm going to read today when I stop filming. The next I have here, Hex Life, and this is by a whole slew of authors, a lot of authors, female authors, and it's short stories about witches in this day and age, and I think also in the past as well, but they're hauntingly good. These are really good short stories. I don't know if you guys remember Toil and Trouble, the short story collection that came out last year that everyone was so excited about but so disappointed in. This short story collection came out and it blows that out of the water. I highly suggest picking it up. Not for nothing, this cover is amazing. So cool. And the stories are great. The authors in here are phenomenal. I read Kat Howard's last night and I was like, oh, so scary. But there's Kelly Armstrong in here, Rachel Kane, Kristen Dearborn, Rachel Autumn Deering, Tananarive Dew is in here, Theodora Goss, Kat Howard, Alma Katsu, Sherilyn Kenyon, Sarah Langdon, Helen Marshall, Jennifer McMahon, Hilary Monahan, Angela Slater. I mean, there's so many in here. So definitely check it out if you're looking for a really good short story collection that portrays witches in a really cool, interesting way. And they're short stories, so you can read a whole lot of them and feel like you've read a lot of stories. I really enjoyed this, and I think you will too. Here I have a favorite book so far this month, also in my top 5 of this year, guaranteed, is Dracula by Dacre Stoker and J.D. Barker. I just finished this book and it was unbelievable. This is the prequel to Dracula. If you want something super spooky about vampires, slightly gory but not over the top gory, but it definitely plays to the true vampire tone where the bites on the neck and the blood, the thirst and all of that. It's in here, and this is told in journal entries from Bram Stoker himself, his sister, and his brother, and a couple of other characters are in here, but it is told in the now, which is right before Dracula happens, and also in the past through their childhood all the way to adulthood and how they discovered what is going on, and this disease-ridden vampires that die and come back to life and they don't know how to stop it. It's really freaking amazing. When Bram Stoker wrote Dracula, he pitched it to the publisher as a story that was true. Like, he basically said that vampires were real, and he wrote this story as we read it as fiction, but I believe he wrote it as a non-fiction. Like, these were true events that happened to him. Pretty interesting. I don't really know if that's completely factual, but that's from my research. That's what I got. So that's creepy to think that maybe vampires do exist. I don't know. But definitely pick this up if you're looking for a hauntingly good book to read during the Halloween time. I highly, highly suggest it. I read it in a week. I was just so excited to read it, and I remember every aspect of this book. So I have to say it's probably going to be one of my favorites this year. My camera died, so I am using my phone to film instead. Hopefully this works out. Hopefully it doesn't look so off, but yeah, anyway, it's a little crooked, I guess. But anyway, back to the haul. So, Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. This is a mystery about someone who gets murdered bobbing for apples at a Halloween party. So, it's definitely an interesting read. It's antiquated in some ways. I'm halfway through. I'm enjoying it. It's not the best mystery I've ever read, but it's Halloween-esque, and I enjoy Agatha Christie's writing anyway, as a whole. Next I have here Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. This is the second book in the City of Bones. I don't know if it's a trilogy or what kind of series it's going to be, but I read City of Bones and I absolutely loved it. I love Victoria Schwab. I love her writing. So I'm very excited to get into Tunnel of Bones. This is a ghost story. It's middle grade and it's actually pretty scary, but I am looking forward to getting to Tunnel of Bones very soon. Probably this week, hopefully this week. The next I picked up Mindhunter, and that is by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker. This is based on the TV show Mindhunter, and I just love that show so much. So I heard that it was a book first, and it's about getting into the minds of serial killers, and I just got so excited I needed to have the book. So I found this in my Barnes & Noble, and I cannot wait to read this. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I'm going to read it and enjoy it. I know I'm going to enjoy it. It's a pretty big book. I believe the person who Holden is based off of, I believe he wrote this book on his findings, and he started up this psych section of the FBI where they do these experiments basically on the minds of serial killers and trying to get ahead of them to prevent these murders from happening. So by doing that, he interviews all the serial killers that are in jail, and he interviews them to try to get into their minds and find out what makes them tick and befriend them and gain their trust to learn these things. And it's just really, really crazy. Next I have here The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I picked this up because it was all over Barnes & Noble, and this is just like the most epic floppy paperback I've ever seen in my life, so I needed to own a copy. It is a modern day classic. It is a movie now. I don't know if it's out or it's going to be out, but I wanted to read it before I saw the movie, so I picked up paperback, and I don't know when I'm gonna get to this, but I hope I get to it. That's all I gotta say, because this is an epic book. Everyone talks about it, and I remember when it first came out how big it really was, and everybody was reading this book. Next I have here a young adult, and that is There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. I heard this is really good. It's about basically the world ending, and there's prophets and who's going to be the prophet to save the world and like a whole big thing. I hope I enjoy this. I heard mixed things, but based on the cover and the synopsis alone, it sounds like something that's right up my alley and something that I'm actually going to really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to getting to this in the next month or two. Next I have here Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. This was sent to me from the publisher, and thank you so much for sending me a finished hardback copy of this book. I had asked them for an ARC a while back. They said there was none left, so I was like, okay, like that's fine, you know, that happens. And they ended up sending me this amazing hardback copy. Totally unexpected. I am just beside myself. This sounds super creepy. This is by the author of Perks of Being a Wallflower, believe it or not, and it's a horror based on an imaginary friend, and this kid does these things that this imaginary friend tells him to do. It seems pretty spooky and probably perfect for this time of year, so if you haven't picked this up yet and you're looking for a spooky, creepy read for October, I definitely think this might be it for you. Next, I have Classic Horror Tales, and this is by like a bunch of authors. The Turn of the Screw is in here. There's all kinds of scary classic tales in here. The Succubus, in Penal Colony, Franz Kafka, Edgar Allan Poe has The House The Fall of House Usher in here. The Willows by Algernon Blackwood. Let's see, The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. The Trial for Murder by Charles Dickens. So there's a bunch of scary horror stories in this book. I found this in Target and I thought it would go great with my soft leather bound books that I got from Barnes & Noble. It is like the same material. It's actually a little softer and I just love the cover. It's really cool. And in the back it has like little quotes. And it has like names of all the classic tales that are in this book on here. I thought it was a really cute little find and I had to have it. So I added it to my collection and this will probably be out like all year long. Over there, like by my mirror, I keep all my classics. So this will be over there. Then next I have this chunker. Stephen King came out with like a bind up for Barnes & Noble. Look how amazing this is. Like, you can't get any better than this. And the end pages. Now, if you've read these books, you know all these symbols go with each of these stories, which is Carrie, The Shining, and Salem's Lot. All three are in here, and it's beautiful. It's silver. And yeah, I had to have this. So I had to purchase one Stephen King book in order to get this for $15 instead of the $25. So I picked up another copy of it, which is right behind me, because it has Bill Skarsgård on the cover as it, and it's really, really scary. But yeah, I had to have this. I think it's amazing. Like I said. So this is a good buy. This is a great buy, and I can't wait to put this on a shelf in my house when I get one. Next, I have Margaret Atwood's The Testaments. I read The Handmaid's Tale, absolutely loved it. I read that recently, and I can't wait to get to this probably November, December. This is kind of horrific as well. This storyline is just like really scary. What happens to women? Crazy, but anyway, in the Testaments, we want to know what happened to Offred. And that's who, we follow this. I believe it's 10 years later of all the events of The Handmaid's Tale. So we'll see what happens in this book. Next, I have The Institute by Stephen King. This was a pre-order. I absolutely loved this book. Another favorite of the year. I was not sure if I was going to love this when I first read it, but I absolutely love the story. I am very happy with it. A lot of people have mixed things to say, but I will say it is a new favorite. It was fun. It was a thrilling read, and for a Stephen King book to not be able to put it down, it's pretty good. Then next I have, so heavy. I'm getting my workout in with this book haul today. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the illustrated edition. It is phenomenal. Look at these end papers. Wow. Just wow. Wow. And oh my goodness. Like, first of all, I can't even hold this up. This is a beautiful, beautiful book, and I'm just so excited to have my hands on this because last year one did not come out. We had to wait 2 years for the illustrations for this book, so I'm so excited, and it does have a lot more illustrations inside. We've been wanting more illustrations, and we got them out of this. So definitely pick yourselves up this copy if you're someone who collects the illustrated editions of Harry Potter like me. It's great to add to the collection, and the pictures are just so great to go along with the story. So I can't wait to reread Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire this winter. Finally, I have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is my current read. I am reading it now, and I'm enjoying it. It's taking me a lot longer to read than I thought. I'm also feeling that I don't really know exactly what's going on. I love the Greys aspect, the ghosts, I love that. I love the character, Alex. She's pretty cool. She's like sort of badass. But there's some things that I'm just a little confused about. I hope that starts to get cleared up. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I'm going to push through for another quarter today. But it's one of those books that I can't just read through. I need to like break it up with something else in between. So I'll be reading the Rules for Banishing or something like that in between reading this. But like I said, I'm enjoying it, but I just don't know how I feel yet. So we shall see what happens. So that is it. That's all I have for you for my book haul. I'm sorry that my camera died and I couldn't wait for the battery to charge. It takes hours for it to charge. So I decided to film on my phone. So I hope this turns out okay. But yeah, anyway, that's all I have for you. That's my book haul for this fall. And if you picked up any of these books, please let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more from me, please like and subscribe down below. And I'll be talking to you guys soon. Bye!